So what does yin-yang really and truly mean? We hear the word yin-yang tossed around in every kind of way, and many people think they know and understand it. But what does it really mean? We may know that yin represents the internal, the cooling, the contracting, the soft, the passive earth, while yang represents the external, warming, expanding, outward, noontime, the sun and stars. These along with an infinite number of opposing qualities. Yin and yang can also be thought of as a binary code representing two forces that make up the entire universe. Yin-yang is commonly mistaken for good and bad. This is incorrect, as either yin or yang qualities can both be destructive or constructive for that matter. The idea is that we bring these opposing forces into balance. This is the key concept of Qigong and Tai Chi in the Taoist way of life. When you look at everything in the universe, you'll discover these opposing forces working in balance. For example, the heating and cooling in our body, and the in-breath and the out-breath. In the universe, we have the contracting and the expanding. And then in every atom of all matter, we have positive and negative charges. From the perspective of yin and yang, these opposing forces are in infinite varieties and combinations in each and every one of us. These are ever-changing combinations of yin and yang, and nothing contains the same combination as anything else. When our bodies exist with an excess of one combination or another, in terms of yin and yang health or yin and yang mental balance, we may have health, mental, or emotional issues. This is why certain foods, Qigong, Tai Chi practices, meditation, and yoga are designed to balance imbalances that occur. In Qigong practice, we have the internal yin aspect of our practice, in combination with the movements, the yang aspects of our practice, to bring about balance. This is combined with yang expanding motions and yin contracting motions. Additionally, we apply the internal awareness as the yin aspect to our practice. Now let's take a look at yin and yang in terms of all creation.
I was gifted this Bagua from a teacher some years ago, and until I actually received this, I didn't truly understand the meaning of yin and yang. I understood it from books, but when I received this, I gained an understanding by looking at it and understanding that this is a depiction of the entire cosmos. I started looking at this Bagua, and I saw how everything fractalizes into smaller and smaller parts based on the yin and yang dividing off. So we have the center here, which is the yin and yang, and then you see it breaking off into 8 different sections. Now, some of you know these as trigrams, and they have different meanings like wind, water, fire. But what I'm looking at is the trigrams as being combinations of yin and yang, rather. So if you think of creation from the beginning as oneness, and it broke into 2, yin and yang, and from the yin and yang, the form and the formlessness, multiple variations and combinations of yin and yang occurred infinitely. So originally you have yin and yang, and they break into 8 different trigrams. So these trigrams are all of the 8 combinations broken up into 3 parts. So when you look at the trigram, the long unbroken lines represent yang, and the broken lines represent yin. Now, you have these 8 fractalizations, 8 different aspects that correspond to feng shui, correspond to different times of the year, corresponds to different aspects throughout the entire creation. Within each of these 8 aspects, we have 8 of those same trigrams. So you can look at these little rectangles. There's red and there's blue. And the red represents the yang, and the blue represents the yin. The bottom 3 lines represent the trigram. For example, here it's all yang, so the bottom are all yang. Here we see yang, yang, yin. So you have yang, yang, yin. So the bottom 3 lines are the same here. So in a sense, if you look at the diagram, it's just showing in this picture the 8 trigrams, and then it shows the 8 different trigrams broken up within that trigram. And then within each of these sections, it breaks up into another 8. And then within each of those broken 8, it breaks up into another. And it goes on and on and on.
Okay, let's look at an illustration that clarifies this a little better. Here are the 8 trigrams, or 8 primary aspects that emerged from yin and yang. Then we divide each trigram into 8 parts, stacking all trigrams on top of each other, making a hexagram, or 6 lines. The total is thus 64 aspects, which represent each of the 64 hexagrams in the I Ching. So why should this symbol represent infinity? It's because the fractalization of yin and yang continues infinitely without ever being an identical combination. This is because after we stack the 8 trigrams upon each of the 8 trigrams, making a hexagram, we can then stack another 8 trigrams onto each of the 64 hexagrams, making 9 lines. Then we can continue to stack these 8 combinations infinitely, making more and more combinations. From this perspective, this symbol represents infinity, or all of creation, stemming from the source of one. So the Qigong method is returning to Wuji, the perfect balance of yin and yang, which is our original nature. This is our perspective on yin and yang. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation.